Alright, good morning guys. We're going to be making homemade spaghetti sauce, and you make it right in your pan together, so you won't need a mixing bowl or anything. Now remember, we've talked about how different things work with cooking. We've talked about English language arts, we've talked about math, we've talked about science. Well, social studies also comes into that too, like this recipe. This recipe comes down from my family from many generations back, and how they've made spaghetti sauce. So we're going to start today by getting a pound of meat. Alright, you want to put that pound of meat in your saucepan. So just put that pound of meat right in your saucepan. Yes, in the pan that you're going to cook in, yes. Alright, you're going to break that meat up. I've got it in my pan. I'm going to break that meat up so that it can start browning. While my meat's browning, I'm going to go ahead and get a pan like this that I can start my noodles in. And I'm going to go ahead and put water and a little bit of salt in it, just so it can start boiling. Don't worry, I won't go too fast because I know that you're working at your stoves behind you. Not a problem. So like I said, the first thing we have to do is brown the meat. So as it's cooking, you want to make sure you're cutting it into little bitty pieces, because you don't want a big chunk of meat. And you want to make sure it's completely brown before we add anything else to it. So just keep working with it, keep turning it over. This part actually takes a little bit longer because you have to make sure all the meat is brown. And you will start getting some grease off the meat. It's okay. Just leave it in your pan. And just keep turning that meat over and over until we have it all brown. And again, keep chunking it as you're browning it so that you've got little pieces, not big. You want all your meat to look like this, to have the brown aspect, okay? Mine's still working on it. You don't want any red in it at all. How are y'all doing with the meat? Good. Is yours almost brown? Give me a thumbs up when yours is completely done and ready to go to the next step. You're good? All right. Waiting on Andrea here. Let's let her. You're good? All right. So our next step is we're going to add our seasonings. So the first thing I'm going to add is just a little bit of pepper. I don't measure the pepper out. I just sprinkle a little bit in, and just a little bit of salt. And you want to go ahead and stir that in. Next, I'm going to use my garlic, my onion, and my oregano. On your garlic, yes. On your garlic, you're going to use 2 tablespoons. You're going to do the same thing with your onion and with your oregano. Once you have all 3 of those in, you want to stir it. Stir that seasoning all around. All right, are we good on the seasoning? All right. The next thing I'm going to add is the sauce. So I want 1 can of sauce to start with. And I want to scrape as much sauce out of it as I can. So sauce, tomato sauce. Then I want to stir that around. Then I'm going to add my 2nd can of sauce. Okay, so all I've added now is my seasonings and my 2 sauces. And again, I'm going to make sure I get all the sauce out of the can. And you're going to stir that around. How are we doing, girls? Doing good? Okay, Andrea, I'm waiting. It's all right. That's fine. And you just want to keep it stirred so it doesn't burn. Just keep it stirred while we're adding stuff. All right, the next we're gonna do is our paste. That's a littler can, and it's gonna be thick. So you wanna open 2 cans of this and put it into your sauce. 2 cans of paste and put it into sauce. The paste is what's going to thicken your sauce a little bit. And you want to make sure you get all the paste out of the can that you possibly can. Make sure you're scraping the bottom real good. And you want to add both cans of paste. And then stir that paste in. It should be starting to smell like spaghetti sauce, and your water for your noodles should be starting to boil. Stir that paste all around. If you think, once you get it stirred around, that your sauce is too thick, you can add just a little bit of water to it. I wouldn't add much, because you're going to let it simmer, and that's going to cook off some of the sauce, the liquid. Alright, the last thing I'm going to do to my sauce is Parmesan cheese. This is like the cheese that you use to put on spaghetti. Yep. I'm going to get 2 tablespoons of that. Two tablespoons, yep. And you're going to sprinkle it right into your sauce. And you're going to go ahead and stir that in. Does it smell like spaghetti sauce? Good. Alright, once you've got everything stirred in, you're going to take a lid and cover the sauce. So just cover the sauce up, and you're going to put it on a 1 or 2. We're real low so it can just called what's simmer, okay? So it's just simmering. So put it on 1 or 2, and it's just going to simmer. It's just letting it cook there while we're doing the noodles. All right, next are our spaghetti noodles. I'm just doing a little handful for now because there's not many of us eating right now. So take a handful of spaghetti noodles and put it in your water. If you want to do the whole pound box, if you've got several people there to eat it, that's fine. I usually do a 1 pound box when it's more of us here, but right now there's only a couple of us here, so. I'm just going to stir those noodles around like I did the fettuccine noodles until they get soft enough I can get them all down in the pan. I'm going to let the water make them soft so I don't break them. You can break them in half if you want to. It's entirely up to you. Just don't let them get stuck to the bottom of the pan. So we're letting our sauce simmer while we're doing the noodles. Every once in a while I want to open that lid and stir that sauce. About every 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes. I want to stir that sauce just to make sure that it doesn't get stuck to the bottom. I'm gonna let my noodles cook here for a minute. Stir my sauce. Like I say, when you stir your sauce, make sure you're getting all the sides and the bottom so that you're getting all of it stirred in. The noodles take about 5 minutes once you get them all completely submerged in the water to get done. One thing you can do with the noodles, if you're making a whole bunch, you can add olive oil to them and that'll keep them from getting stuck together. I didn't put that on your directions because I don't always do it. It depends. And if I'm doing like 2 to 4 pounds of spaghetti, I'll definitely add the olive oil. But just with 1 pound, I usually don't. Again, make sure you're stirring that sauce while those noodles are boiling. And keep that sauce from sticking to the bottom. The longer you let your sauce simmer, the better it's going to be, just so you know. So if you're wanting to do it for supper time, it's fine. Just keep it on low all day and just make sure you keep it stirred. If you're having it for lunch, it's absolutely ready to go. You just have to either add it to your noodles or put it on the side. In my house, we don't add the sauce directly to the noodles and stir it all around, but you certainly can. We put the spaghetti on the table and then we put the sauce on the table. That way each person can decide how much they want of each. So I'm letting my noodles finish up here. They're working on it. I'm going to stir my sauce. Excuse me. see how these noodles are doing. They're getting close. They're not done yet, but they're getting close. Sauce smelling good? Yeah. I know, it makes me want to eat it now. Are our noodles doing good? Awesome. Remember, it's the same with a spaghetti noodle that is the fettuccine noodle. Once you can take a fork and press it up against it on the side and cut it, they're done. Or you can always get one little strand and taste it. And when it tastes like it's done, when it doesn't have any more crunch to it, then you're ready to serve it. Not yet. They're close, but they're not done yet. Make sure you're stirring that meat sauce. Mine's trying to stick, and we don't want it to stick to the bottom. So stir it all around. Your noodles should be getting really close, because mine are really close to being done. About another more minute on mine and they'll be done. Again, a way you can tell is take a fork and just put very light pressure on it. And if your noodles cut, they're done. Or you can taste them. Just don't let them stick to the bottom of that pan. Once your noodles are done, you want to drain the water off of them using a colander. So just dump them into a colander and drain the water off of them. Mine are done. Check yours, see if they're done. If they're done, go ahead and drain them. Make sure you keep that sauce stirred. You don't want your noodles to get overdone because they'll become mushy. So when they're done, go ahead and take them off and go ahead and put them in a colander. All right, girls, once your noodles are done, like I said, you can mix your sauce with it. So just dump your sauce in with your noodles after you drain them, or put your noodles in your sauce after you drain them. Stir it all around. Or you can serve it like I do with the noodles in one bowl and the sauce in another bowl, and let people decide how much sauce they want on their spaghetti, okay? That's all there is to homemade spaghetti. Pretty easy, huh? Yeah, everybody's gonna love your sauce. They're gonna say, ooh, we want you to make this every time. So save your recipe, okay? All right, that's all there is. I hope you enjoyed making spaghetti. Yes? All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.